Welcome, kinky ones and pleasure seekers. We are the Aftercare podcast with your host, Sky,
And I'm Sunny.
where we talk about and normalize the conversations around sex, love, kink, and everything in between. And today we have a really exciting episode with two very special guests, Tabby and NoName from the creative brand Tabby NoName. With the mantra, porn should be fun, they're on a mission to destroy shame and stigmas in the world of sex, love, and kink, one home movie at a time. And we are lucky enough to call them our best friends and closest allies in the world of content creation and kink. Welcome to the Aftercare podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really good.
Yeah, that was
you
like-
crushed
Thank you.
that. I'm like, don't interrupt her and tell her how good she's doing.
And I'm like, don't look her in the eye.
Now my praise kink is open. Thank you.
That's the applause.
Well, welcome. Thank you guys for coming down here and
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
joining
thank you
us.
for having us. Yeah, this is fun.
Literally anytime.
The best.
So I thought we could start today's episode with just kind of talking about our origin story and how Tabby, NoName, and Sunny Sky met. If you want
Yeah.
to kind of start that off.
Well, we were going on a road trip to go visit family, and I had been stalking you guys for several months.
Ditto.
Yeah, just constantly scrolling through TikTok and Instagram, just like what they do today. And I remember putting out like the little, I don't know, I think that's a little question thing. Like basically, are you a creator in the West Coastal area of the United States? If you are, it'd be awesome to meet you. I put that out as a general question with literally only you guys in mind. And you guys responded. I was like, fuck yeah, I did it. I tricked them.
Very tricked I was.
Yes,
Mhm.
I know.
Fell
I'm
right
very
into the trap.
sneaky.
Yeah, I was super excited when Sky told me. She's like,
Yeah.
Tabby and NoName are coming through Denver just to like see us. It's not
Yeah.
even on their way. Like you guys kind of went out of the way.
A little bit.
little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
We had
Yeah,
like,
yeah, substantially.
Perfect. Thank you.
I love that.
it was great.
Yeah, we had been also stalking you in the world of like content creation, especially with social media and Instagram.
Yeah.
Like everybody's kind of on everybody's radar, especially because our brands like really align.
That's really like what it was, because I'm actually very like out of the know in terms of like creators. I feel like I have you and other people come up to me like, do you know this person? Do you know this person? I'm like, no, I don't know any of these people, but I knew you guys because we just have such similar styles,
Yeah.
I guess. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
It
What
was
would you say your style is? What are these similar styles?
We're like, well, because we dabble in such similar things, like with our intimacy, we're all into pegging, but like a very different kind of pegging than you see in mainstream media. And you guys are just so sweet and loving and goofy, which I appreciate so much. I feel like it's really hard to find people who are just making funny TikToks about sex. So
Yeah.
as soon as we found that, I was like, and follow.
It was funny. I think I actually found both of you on Reddit like almost a year
way.
before the Instagram like meetup actually happened, and I think it was from a post from Liam Gets It actually.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and I like stumbled onto their profile and then yours. I even
Yeah.
had like an OnlyFans tab on my computer open for like months.
Because we
Nice.
stalked you.
Yeah, I was like,
So sweet.
these people, because then I went into your Reddit. I was like,
Yeah.
they do what we do, and they do it like we
Yeah.
do. So it was really cool. Like, yeah, it's we always like see each other for so long, and it was really exciting to have like that first like in-person meeting. It's always funny
For
to
sure.
like in this world you can like see so much about other people and feel like you know them so well without ever actually like having an in-person meetup. So it's really
Yeah.
cool for that to like finally come to fruition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's really weird to like see the most intimate moments of strangers, and it's like, oh, hey, like I already know that we can get along because
Yeah.
of what I've seen.
Yeah, I've seen you have sex.
Yeah.
I've seen you naked.
I've seen your
Oh.
butthole. So
It's
So
like
we're friends.
really in depth.
Yeah, so yeah, it is
Yeah.
super fun.
I remember too, like when we were texting beforehand, because we're both such we're all like introverts, very
Little bit of social
shy,
anxiety on
awkward.
my end.
Yeah. You're just like, also, if you want to, like, anytime you want to leave, like, whatever, you don't have to stay. And I was like, cool. If I just run out of the house, like, you can also kick me out if I'm really obnoxious. Just like, tell me to leave your home.
And I remember when you first showed up, like we have a doorbell camera, and I was like looking, I was like, they're here. I was like,
We
And I
didn't know
did-
what to
yeah.
We
do.
pulled up to your driveway. We're like, okay, do we just go and knock on the
Well,
door?
'cause
Do we text? Do we call?
Okay,
Like,
but it was because we knew you guys had dogs.
yeah,
And I was
that's
like,
the only reason.
that is the only reason.
I was nervous.
Oh, okay. Well, my only reason was like, I know they have dogs, and I know dogs can get spooked by doorbells.
yeah.
And then so I was like,
And we didn't want to be creepy and just open the door. 'cause
Yeah.
we've been watching
We've been
you.
watching
Yeah.
you.
I know when you told us that you'd been watching, I'm like, cool, okay, I feel better
Yeah,
actually.
perfect. No, I love you guys were super brave. You stayed with us the first time you met us.
You guys invited us into your home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we,
we're all
That's
total
brave.
weirdos.
yeah, we tend to do that. We're very welcoming up front, and again, we felt like we already knew you, so it was an easy thing to invite you into our home.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it.
And then you wanted to be friends with us.
And then we moved across the country.
Yeah.
We're like,
tricked us.
we're like, stay in our house. We're gonna follow you home.
Cool.
Okay.
Like, what was it? Like 6 months after we met you, we moved out.
Yeah. I remember when you guys mentioned it, I was like, for realsies? Oh my God. Okay. Yes.
We're not
So
total
worked out.
creepers. We're also ready for something new.
Yeah.
And we had community now.
You guys had been
We're
talking
also
about it
creepers.
beforehand, like just somewhere on the West Coast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for well over a year before
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
but you were still the main reason. No.
Shit.
I remember when you guys were saying, it, I was like, no pressure, be cool. Oh, shit. Be cool, Tabby.
It's hard to do.
It's really hard.
It's really hard to do.
Cool.
All right. Well,
Yes.
where would you say our relationship is now? Like, what do you want to see it evolutionize, or how have we evolved? And you can even talk about like how you approach collabs and
Yeah.
what your relationship kind of looks like to kind of build that up too.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting because, before we met and everything, we obviously knew that we were all really similar in terms of how we create content, like what kind of content we do create. We have similar styles of like communications with our partners and stuff. And I think it's really easy for people who watch both of our content to be like, oh, they're so similar. They've met in real life. Now they're totally going to make all the content. And it's funny because on like my end or our end, like, it's like, yeah, I really want to do all those things, but it's not always that simple.
Right.
It's like we're still getting to know each other as friends, and we enjoy building up those relationships before we move into being intimate. And I think it's also like good to not put so much pressure on a friendship when it's new, to immediately add in sex.
Well, and also to immediately add in working together.
And
too.
yeah, because it is work when we are filming. It's not just sex.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of pressure on multiple different levels. So for us, it was really nice just like hanging out and being friends. And our version of work was making TikToks or just taking a couple photos or just hanging out with each other. I mean, I feel like that was really good to build that base of our like friendship and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do we have something in common
Yeah.
outside of
Outside
sex?
of it, yeah.
Outside of pegging, what else do we do?
the answer is yes.
Well, and like when we first went to Joshua Tree
Yeah.
last May, and just making the silly, goofy TikToks and taking the pictures and how easy it was, and it went so seamlessly. It just felt really good.
Yeah.
There was no expectation or pressure for anything else,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, yeah, these are our people.
Yeah.
I love that. I love finding the community. And pictures, as you guys know, is a really hard thing for me.
Yeah, I didn't know that until recently. I was like, girl, you've taken pictures with me since the beginning. Oh, I feel so special.
Because you're so safe.
Oh,
So thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. And when we did finally like take that first step into like doing a soft swap with you guys, like that was a really special space too. I'm going to repeat something that you tell me to do all the time of slowing down. And it is a really good mantra to have at this point in our life. When Sunny and I started, we kind of got mixed up with some of the wrong, I wouldn't even say the wrong people, but with just different people. And it wasn't necessarily our community, but it was just like a certain way of just immediately getting into something, doing a swap. And that was our first swap too, was the first time it was on camera. And we had just like really met these people in like real life. And it was a really hard experience for me. And the second one after that was also a little bit hard. And I was getting to the point that I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Because I didn't have that connection, especially with like the guys that I was enjoying or supposed to be enjoying. Like, it didn't have that safety and that connection. And so it did feel like more of a performance. And I'm at this point in my life that I can't perform. And I want to feel safe enough that I don't have to perform. Or if I do want to perform, that I also feel safe enough and celebrated in that space too. So thank you for also being a really good role model in the sense of slowing down.
Well, yeah. And I think that like our experiences and meeting, you know, another couple that's similar, just like really reinforce like how much we all are demisexuals. Like,
oh my God.
We need that connection outside of the bedroom, outside of work, outside of sex, whatever it is. Like we truly do like have better experiences overall when we know someone, you know, fully and wholly. So yeah, that was like really reinforcing in meeting, you know, both of you, and then also Piper and Ben and some of the other people in our community. Is just like, yes, these, you know, these are the people that we would be friends with if none of this existed.
No matter what.
If content didn't exist, if, you know, our work didn't exist, we would still be friends with these people.
You'd still be friends with me?
Fuck yeah. Try and get rid of us.
What are we doing?
I fucking dare you.
She's only a little scary.
Yeah, the whole like demisexual thing is so interesting because it's, I think as creators, everybody's just like, you guys can do everything all the time. And it's like, no, but do you see how much better it is when there's emotion and there's like connection and you watch these people grow over time, you know? So it's like,
yeah, it really is a journey.
It's a journey.
And
it's not about the destination.
Yeah, and when you can watch the progress that people take together, it's like, shit, that's cool.
For sure. And I mean, you see it in like relationships, like singular. So why wouldn't you want to see it in like multiple relationships?
So we have a really special community.
Yeah, we do.
Like everything that you see, like we are truly connected to each other, care about each other. We've gone out of the country with each other.
Yeah. We've got a long group text. We got multiple group texts.
Subsets.
We got subsets. Yeah.
Well, and I love, I forget who posted it from our most recent trip for your birthday, but we just all took a group picture, like when we went snowboarding, and so many people were like, you guys just look like such a good group of friends. You know, it wasn't like you guys look like a great group of swingers, or you know, like we were fully clothed, like just having a good time, and people are like, this looks awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's like what I think we all want everyone to see is just that like we are a community outside of the bedroom. So
totally.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. The next question I want to ask you is, do you guys remember how you started to explore kink together? Like, kink is such a big umbrella term, and I know there's so many different things in kink you guys do. Yeah. And that's the incredible thing about your page as well, is that what?
I'm definitely hearing things, right?
It's 1:51 p.m.
Oh, okay.
What is that noise?
I think it was your phone. Okay.
Perfect.
Throw it away.
So kink, it's a big umbrella. And one thing that we've really seen in your page that's really similar to ours is that you do so many different things as well. So when you log on to TabbyNoName's page, you get a taste of so many different things that you guys have tried. Yeah. Do you guys remember how you got into kink together?
You're looking right at me.
I mean, I could talk about it, or you could talk about it.
I mean, so I've always just been kinky. Of all the partners I've had, I was always the kinkier one. And that rings true for us. And yeah, it was a very slow journey. And I think just, you know, over time I started asking more questions and I was just kind of prodding you, like, what are you open to? Like, how can we expand what we have? Because we've always had a very good sex life.
Yeah, it was always like really good, even when it wasn't
How long have
kinky.
you guys been together?
A little over 11 years.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Wait, is that right?
It's like 11 and a half, yeah.
Fuck me.
And how long do you think it was until you started to like really almost question and prod and just show an interest in the things that you were really interested in exploring with Tabby?
I would say about a year in,
Okay.
I was like, hey, like,
Yeah.
you want to mix this up a little bit?
And I was like, maybe. Give me a minute to mull it over.
Definitely the time is the biggest factor.
Yeah. Because for me, like, I remember when he brought up, you know, just trying different things like rimming or, you know, whatever the kinky thing was. And it wasn't ever that I was vanilla. I used to get that a lot in like past relationships where people thought I wasn't really into stuff. And it definitely got into my head where I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm not. Like, maybe I don't really like it. I don't know. And I remember as we were exploring, I struggled a lot with being able to relax and like open up. And I remember you and I having a conversation and you were like, it's not so much that it's like, oh, these are things I just want to like do to you or have you do for me. It's about us being able to be vulnerable and a very intimate space. And then that's a way for us to connect more deeply. And that was the first time I had ever had a partner explain kink like that to me, or just sex in general to me, because I feel like before a lot of it was about getting off or just like, these are things I want from you, like not so much about your pleasure or my pleasure, like just give me this thing. And so you created a very safe space for me to want to explore. And then it was really nice because I was like, okay, I always felt like I was a very sexual person. I always felt like I was a very kinky person, but I always was told I wasn't. And so now I know it wasn't me. It was my shitty relationship.
Yeah.
So that was like really nice. And it did take time still for me to open up because, you know, when you have past experiences that block you up like that, it
takes time to also trust that like you actually mean this.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm like, but are you sure?
Yeah.
And then also, am I into this? Like, am I pushing a boundary like too far, or is this like good for me? And then, you know, it's like it's all give and take. So
yeah,
I
well,
feel like
it's that approach of like you're doing this together. Like you said, it's not like I'm doing something just for your benefit, or you're doing something for my benefit, or I'm just doing something for my benefit. Like we're doing it for the collective.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, and that's such like a healthy approach to kink. That's something that we've always, you know, had as like a pillar, is like, no, this is an experience we get to explore together.
Yeah.
This is for us.
Yeah.
And that was another thing too, is like, that's why like patience is, like waiting is totally fine, because I never want it to be something that you agree to just to agree to it.
Yeah.
Because I want you just as invested as I am.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I remember you're like, it doesn't seem like you're into it, so I don't want you to do it, because it makes it so it's not it's not enjoyable. If you're not having fun, I'm not having fun.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, once we started to like explore more and enjoy those things, it was like, okay, now this is something we really love.
Oh shit, this is awesome.
This is so great.
Let's do
What
more of
else can we
this.
do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it snowballs from
It
there.
snowballs, yeah.
Yeah, we always get asked like, how do I find a kinky girl like you? And it's
Oh my god.
yeah, like I'm not just in the woods waiting to be picked by a magical male fairy. Like I need safety to be created around me.
Yeah.
And there's been so much shame around my own sexuality and the things that I wanted to explore.
Yeah.
And now that I had a safe space, I was finally able to be curious and I was able to be vulnerable. And there's so much power in vulnerability. And I saw my partner being very vulnerable. And I was like, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, so I love that it's same, but
same.
different.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's like a perfect segue into like one of the pillars of our, you know, kinky exploration, which is pegging.
Oh yeah.
Like pegging is such a thing that I think both of us are really known for.
Yeah.
You know,
That
and
we
I
do
think-
so differently than like
yeah.
so many other people. Yeah.
It's kind
Yeah.
of shocking. Like
It's
when you
shocking.
look for content, it's like it's just
Because I'll look for
wildly
inspiration.
different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want some help, some inspo for this. I'm like,
Like
"Aw,
and shut down.
never mind.
Well, especially as I was learning, like I would love to hear what it was like for you to learn how to wear a strap because it
Fuck
was
me,
so
man.
awkward at
So
first.
hard.
And just getting those muscles and that hip and that practice, and now it's something that like I even kind of train for.
You're so good at it.
Dude, it's
Like,
something that I take a lot
watch
of
you
pride
go,
in.
and I'm like, damn. I need to up my game, you guys.
Dude, like penetrating somebody is a really magical and powerful thing, and
Yeah.
nobody should take that for granted.
Yeah.
So, but when I was looking for just how do I even start pegging, there was nothing on that, and so that's something that I'm excited to even build with you as like a guide for people of how do they, and most of the pegging that I was looking at was this like harder femdom degradation,
Yeah.
and humiliation. And I love that. I
Yeah,
love that
such a
sector. There's
great-
absolutely no shame there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't our flavor of pegging. And so then we got to kind of create our own with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you guys have really done that too, just stepped into what worked for you.
100%. Yeah.
Well, and I think what that like, that is like a place to strive to, but like nobody starts with rough, degrading femdom pegging. Like
yeah.
that's just like everyone
First
has
time
to be.
pegging, just
Yeah, everybody has to be new, and I think that's what it like really skips, and I think that's why it can scare a lot of people, is it doesn't show like, you know, we talked about like exploring kink together. Like when you start exploring pegging together, that is like a thing that you both are actively doing.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of work in the beginning, and you can get to a rough femdom seam, but like in the beginning, you're wearing something and trying to use something that you have no experience with, that you can't feel.
You can't feel. Oh my God.
Yeah, and you know, us, like we're being penetrated for maybe not the first time, but for the first time in that way and in that space. So it's just such a new ground for everybody to see, like, you know, amazing examples of like really cool rough femdom scenes is awesome, but it's also extremely intimidating because, you know, people are like, well, I don't even know how to be penetrated or use this, and I'm not even in a dom space normally. Like it's just such a like an insurmountable like mountain to climb in the beginning that it can just like, I think, really scare people away entirely.
Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely.
yeah, so I think that's what's been really cool about like our journey of sharing with people, is just showing the communication that happens actively, like how, you know, how collaborative it is to just start with that space.
Yeah. Yeah, we get comments about that a lot where people are just like, it was really nice hearing, like you're constantly checking in with him, being like, is this okay? Do you want it, you know, more? Do you want it faster? Do you want it slower?
Yeah.
Because it's really hard not being able to feel what it's like, you know, going on inside. I'm like, it's a foreign object for me. So it's like my sensory ends where my skin ends. I'm like, I can't feel what's going, how far it is inside you and stuff, or how the angle is necessarily. So, yeah, like getting used to that, and then all the rest things. Oh my God. I remember like one of the first times we did it, and you were on your back and you had like your legs open like that, and then I'm like trying to thrust. And I remember after we had finished, I don't know if it was like later that day or like the next day or something, but we were both sore. Like my like butt was sore from like the thrusting, and your like inner legs were super sore from holding them open. And it was just so funny to like be on the opposite ends of where we normally are. And I feel like it gave us a much deeper respect for like the other person and what sex is typically like for them too.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that like I can relate to in that space is, you know, I know typically women have the experience of what it's like to like have something happen too fast, too deep, too hard.
Yeah.
And when you first like get that as a man, you're like, oh my God, like I've done that to someone like before. You're like, okay, yeah, like you get that perspective, and
Yeah.
it's so valuable to be able to be on the other side of that, because it gives you empathy. It, you know, it lets you relate so that you can carry that back into when you're, you know, on the other side.
Yeah, it
of
just
it.
brings, there's a whole new world of awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really
Yeah, I
cool.
definitely went too far one time, and that felt so
Oh
bad.
man, I've had
Yeah,
that
it's-
too.
it's
I was like, I'm
not
so sorry.
And his
I
face
used-
is just like,
Hold.
I used too much lube. I don't know. It seemed like a good idea at the
felt-
time. It just,
Yeah.
And the multitasking, like I did not give guys enough credit.
I don't think I even gave him a little bit. I was just like, I don't know what you guys are bitching about.
30 seconds is not a long time. And then I look like an animal, like a pumped out animal, also trying to give a hand job while pegging.
That shit is so hard.
I can't breathe.
and
And then
talk.
there's a camera on my face.
I'm like, my short arms are trying to like reach around. I'm like, hold on.
Or get the POV.
Or get the POV. And I'm like, we're doing it.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Stamina. Like how you get into those like squat positions and then thrust for as long as you do. I'm like 30 seconds to a minute.
This dude's got the most flexible hips I've ever seen.
He does. It's
Like,
outrageous. But I'm like, I try to do it and I'm just like, I can't be done.
I mean,
Can't.
about 30 to 45 seconds in, I'm just repeating a mantra, just like, I can do this, I can do this.
In my mind, I'm like, if I had a dick and I could feel what this felt like, I think I could go longer.
Yeah,
So that's what I tell myself to make myself feel better when I quit.
that's fair.
Who is talking?
I don't know.
There's a man in our house.
I have no idea
Oh,
what
I
it
didn't
is.
hear it. This time.
Perfect. Okay.
I don't know.
Losing my mind. Yeah. Well, pegging.
Pegging.
Femdom.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I have a fun question for you guys. Do you guys have any power dynamics in the bedroom that you guys practice or drop into? I feel like you guys sometimes are bratty. I don't know if you guys have power dynamics outside of that.
I mean, they're not like spoken,
Yeah.
but the energy shifts from time to time, and we feel it, and I think we kind of ride the wave.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think like, I don't know, especially when we were exploring pegging and you were getting more into like that submissive role and I was getting into that more like dominant role. There was a big learning curve for us because they're not our natural states, even though we do enjoy being on the other side. So I think it's been a learning process of being like, okay, I can be kind of dominant and like learning how to tap into those areas. Like for me, I was really struggling with being dominant, but then I'd get really frustrated with him like moving too slowly or not doing what I wanted. And I was like, oh, I can tap into my dominant
you just,
energy
like,
here. I'm like,
snap.
fucking do it.
And then
you
that's like, oh,
fall into
shit,
it really easily.
Okay, I will speed the fuck up.
Yeah. And it was really nice because I was like, oh, I can get out my frustration
it's
in
like,
like a healthy, safe like way that's fun and morphs it into this really fun activity.
Yeah, you've been able to just like find ways to step into your power.
Yeah.
And I think a fun way for me to see when you're in some of that power, because I have not yet gotten to explore a femdom scene with you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to if you ever want to. Okay. But when you put on like your outfit and your makeup, especially makeup, I feel is such a power thing
It
for you.
helps a lot.
Yeah. So I love it. Do you do your makeup and like have an outfit before all of your femdom scenes? Is there a way that you prep for it?
I feel like I almost always have an outfit. Like it's rare. Like I really like wearing, fishnets or different things like that, or like a corset. I really like the corsets. So I really, and I tend to skew, well, it depends on like the vibe I'm going for, because if I want to be more like, I don't know, dominant in like a do what I say kind of way, then I trend towards something darker. And then if I want it to be more playful, then it's something like bright and colorful. And if I want it to be really soft and intimate, it's like white. And it's like,
I love that.
so I have like different styles and stuff like that. And usually depending on my mood, like I shift the exact outfit that I'm wearing. But
And
there's
that's
always
fun
something.
to see. Like you can kind of like if you're walking into a space with me, then I'm like, okay, I know what kind of space she's in, and that allows me to drop into a space that really would fit that. So.
Yeah. And it's nice having, I don't know, I think it just helps put you in that mindset, because you're like, okay, this is the role I'm taking on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps with like the embodiment of it.
Yeah.
Prep is important for me as well, to be able to step into that. Getting ready is like kind of a ritual space for that. And music I have found is a really big power source for me. Like a deep tribal like drum, like that will get me into this like dark queen energy almost.
I love that.
So,
That's awesome.
I'll show you it sometime.
Okay. I love it.
Okay, what else we got?
So I think we already know the answer to this question, but who brought up pegging?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny because I didn't actually seriously bring it up. Like,
Yeah, I don't quite remember.
oh, so I've just always trusted you. Like, I've never trusted a partner the way that I trust you. And that has been true since the beginning. Like, I've never felt any judgment. I've always carried a lot of shame sexually. But with you, it just didn't feel like it was as intense as with other partners. And I've always liked anal play since I was 19 or 20, since my girlfriend was like, let me try this on you.
You're like, yes.
And then, since then I was like, oh, okay, I'm here for this. So I just remember it like it was just very in passing once. I was like, I really trust you. I would even let you fuck me. And it wasn't serious.
Yeah.
And then just over time, I think like I planted that seed in our relationship, but more so I planted it in my own head.
Yeah.
And over time it was like, I would want you to fuck me. And then that just kind of became a, hey, would you fuck me? And yeah, that was kind of the evolution.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love that. And so did you just like explore toys, or was it fingers? Like, how did you get started with that?
I mean, we had already been very into like rimming and using like fingers.
Okay.
Not super deep, like it was, more on like the shallow end, I guess. And then, oh God, I remember trying to find the right kind of dildo for it.
There's so many. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Because I think we got a little ambitious at one point. Like we had like a small one and we're like, oh, we nailed this. Let's like, we tried doing like the one that like inserts into me and like the
we
the
have
strapless
one of those as well, and it was one of the most awkward. We have one video that it was good, and then after that it became one of the most awkward things to use, and it was so painful for me because it's so big and it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's not flexible, and like I don't know. It was just such a big step up from where we had been that it was.
Yeah.
It was not it.
We haven't pulled it back out.
We have not pulled it back out. So then, then it was like a little bit of an exploration, finding like a good one. And I had a fan actually recommend the pink one that we use like a lot.
Yeah.
So that was how we got that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
We've gone through our fair share as well of just trying to figure out sizes and what do we like, and
like
even
shape. And
oh my gosh, the shape.
Yeah.
And I got a couple that were like too soft, so when I would like try to go in Sunny, it would just
it's just like
bend.
bend.
It's like, this isn't working.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I know you're ready, but I've got nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well,
it's
cool.
tricky. Yeah.
So I'm curious. I know when we started pegging, and I think this is something a lot of people might also think a little bit too much about it, is that like you just have to peg. Like you're going to peg and it's just going to be like you fucking him the whole time. And I know that's how we started, but we've evolved to where we're like, no, we can like fuck each other. Like we don't have to
Yeah.
just do this one way, or we can do a whole bunch of other stuff. Is that like kind of the experience you've had with pegging? Is it was just that act in the beginning, and then you were like, wait, we don't have to just peg. We can.
We like literally just.
This was our most recent video actually. Where,
So good.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
these
you.
So good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, she started pegging me, and then because it had been a while since we had sex,
Yeah.
and so we started with the pegging scene because it had been so long.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, it's like, no, I need to switch this up.
I'll switch it up.
You're looking too good.
I'd like the other way around now.
But it was really fun to just like fuck each other and just take turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like maybe before that, have we like? I mean, I think that we had off-camera ones or
Yeah,
things.
off camera.
Yeah,
but
where
like
we would do both.
yeah, for me, like just getting in that space of submission and opening myself up, and it just takes a lot.
It's a specific headspace.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
I need a lot of time to get there.
Yeah.
And so I think because of that, it would always just be, you're gonna peg me today, and that's gonna be what we do.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Would you like prep yourself mentally before and then say like I would like you to peg me, or like how do you get into that space if you're open to sharing that?
That's a good question. I think it took a while because I think our first maybe 5 pegging videos, I'm not really in that space.
Yeah.
And so looking back on it now, like I can see for myself like how just in my head I am. And so something switched a couple years ago. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I just learned to like it a lot more of really allowing myself to be completely taken care of by you.
Yeah.
And since then, I still need that time to mentally prepare. Like I'll need to know at least a day or two in advance.
Yeah.
But once I have that day or two, and it's like I can completely just submit and let you take over. And
I think it's like it's a practice too. Like people think, oh, I want to try this thing. It's like something I'm really into, and then it's like if you're not immediately good at it, it could be really daunting and be like, oh, well, maybe I don't really like it, or maybe I'm not good at this, so I'm not going to try.
Especially anal play, it hurts for the first times if you're not going slow.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, it's not something, and if it's brand new, like you're not always going to be just good at it, you know? Like I had no idea how to, fuck you. I had no idea how to thrust like in a way that wasn't jarring. I'm like, and then I'm like stumbling back there. I'm trying to be dominant when that's not my natural state. Like it's not, it was brand new for me too. And so I think dropping into those headspaces was really difficult at first, but it's something that we knew that we wanted to continue trying. And so we just fumbled for a little while and, eventually found our way. But yeah, our first like few videos, you can see the fumbling.
It's awkward.
It's so awkward. I'm just like, thank you guys for watching this.
We have those as well. And they're so awkward, but not a lot of people pick up on the awkward. They're like, oh my God, they're so hot.
It was
It's
so
like,
hot.
thank God.
People kind of see what they want to see.
Yeah.
Are we watching the same thing? Because my legs are shaking. I'm like, are you good? Are we done?
I think also if you don't know our personalities, like it's easy not to pick up on certain things.
I guess that's true. Yeah. But
Yeah, you guys are good students. You figured it out together.
You just have to be okay with failing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where a lot of people like struggle is when the fantasy doesn't match reality.
Yeah.
Then it's easy to give up.
Yeah, or place blame. I think that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
So easy to do. It's like, oh, you weren't doing this, you weren't doing that, and it's like, well,
I'm not that person.
I'm sorry.
I've never done this before. I need to
learning.
practice. Yeah. So allowing time for practice and curiosity and fumbling and messes and questions. Like
so many messes with lube, you guys.
Yes.
I use so much. I was so
Same,
nervous.
Yeah. I'm like, that's 10 times
I'm like,
the amount of
I can't touch anything.
I've gotten to
You
the
can't
point
grab
that exactly. I've gotten to the point that when I'm applying lube now, I'll do it with gloves so that I can take the gloves
That's so
off,
smart. I've seen
and then I
that.
have clean hands, and I'm like, okay. But it took me because I was like, I can't touch myself.
I want to try
I
that.
can't touch anything.
Now grab a camera.
yeah.
The really expensive equipment.
Yep. So you got to figure little things out that work for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad you guys didn't give up. Proud of you.
Oh, proud of you guys.
Thanks. Ooh, fun question. What would you say is like a signature scene for you guys if you have one? I have one that I think you guys, that I think of when I think of TabbyNoName. But I want to say, do you guys have a signature scene that you guys are like known for or good at?
I have one in my mind, but I'm very curious.
I know.
You first.
You go first. You go first.
Okay, so when you first sign up to our page, there is at the very top a 42-minute scene of us in our bed in our old apartment, and that is like, that's like peak TabbyNoName.
But like, what is it?
It's just us, and we just go crazy on each other. Like we start really sweet, and you jump on me, and we cuddle and we kiss, and then I start grabbing your ass, and then I start spanking your ass.
Tell me more.
Then
Then what happens?
And then you start riding my face, and then I think you spit in my mouth.
Oh,
and-
this is good.
yeah, and then, from there.
This is
it's
just
like,
right on your page.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
perfect.
Yeah, and then
Then what happens?
and then I think I kind of throw you off of me, and then
Tight.
I start doing things to you, and
I
then
like it.
it just gets more and more intense, and none of it was planned.
Yeah.
It's
But
just
it
like
was
a
just,
primal
yeah,
circle
it was
of
just
you guys.
feral fucking sex, and it was awesome.
Feral fucking sex.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has like everything that we're known for, like just weird positions, like the Amazon position.
Yeah.
That's
we do
what
some
I think
weird
of when I
positions.
think of you guys. You're so good at the Amazon position.
Thank you.
And
We
I've
have
tried
a-
so many times, so I need you to train me.
It's tricky. And we didn't we stumbled upon that because we had a fan request it when the very, very beginning when we first started. And they asked for a custom of us doing Amazon. And I remember us Googling, what is this position? And we're staring at how does that work? And us stumbling, trying to get in the right position. It's very funny.
It is a hard one to figure out at first.
Yeah,
especially on a bed.
The guys has to have really flexible hips. And so I think that's where you excel,
Because you can just bend him.
Oh my God. He will go in any position. I'm like, what I would give to be able to move my body the way you do. But I can't. But it's cool. Yeah.
That's why the role reversal's there.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's a good position.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think the one I think of is at your old apartment.
Yeah.
When you were getting ready to move out and the room was empty.
Oh yeah.
I think there's
love
just
that
a
one.
killer Amazon position, angle lighting. It's just
Has the backlighting coming in.
That was really good.
That was really good.
yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
my favorite things about OnlyFans is it is kind of set up like a Facebook feed. And I check
Totally.
my OnlyFans more than any other social media. And I'm just what are my friends up to? Oh my gosh, they pegged today and did a cream pie into his mouth. Yes.
I was really excited
Heart-
about that one.
Yeah. So I love seeing what you guys are up to.
Yeah. We did a video in our old apartment actually where it was really spur of the moment, and you gave me a cream pie and I just pushed you down and I pushed it into your mouth, and we get comments on that video all the time, which was why I brought it in this last time. I was like, we have to do this again.
Yeah,
Good
we
one.
get positive feedback. We'll do the things more.
Yeah, you hear
Yeah.
that?
Tell me I did good.
Tell me I did good.
I did a good
The
job.
more you shove me down and sit on my face, the more
Oh, you're always going to enjoy that.
I'm
Yeah.
here for that.
Same,
Okay.
by the way.
Taking notes. Taking notes.
Shove them down
Sips on.
on face.
I was gonna say, so I know you mentioned it with pegging and your styles of pegging, but that you've had some off-camera pegging experiences, and you've done things that you haven't actually captured.
Yeah.
I know one thing that we always, are navigating is how we balance intimacy on camera versus personal intimacy, and what that balance should look like. And so I was just curious if you could share kind of how you guys approach that.
That's been a big thing for us recently, actually. I think people think that because we make adult content, we have sex a lot. And I don't think we have sex as much as a lot of people think we do. And so because we're not always in that headspace, we had this idea that we have to film everything, because it's not like we're having sex every day or multiple times a day or most days of the week. And, we want to be able to make content for the people who sign up for our page. We want it to feel like there's value there. And we definitely burned out. We burned out really, really hard. And we took a few months off of filming literally anything. We just could not do that because it felt like it had creeped into our actual relationship. It was like sex had become work.
Absolutely.
And that's not what it should be. And so it took us a while of just not having sex. And I think a lot of people are like, but you guys make porn. Where's the sex? And I'm like, well, we're also people.
We're also people, and we strive to have our content be as authentic as possible.
Yeah, we're not going to just
if we're
do
not in
it.
the mood, we're not going to make it.
We're not going to make it. Yeah. And so being human beings who also go through ups and downs, we just weren't having sex for a while. So we didn't film. And then we really focused on being able to connect in our relationship and be intimate again before bringing the cameras back in. And I think since then, we've had a much better balance where we're like normally, if we have morning sex, I would pull out my phone at least or something and try to catch a little bit or do this or that. And I actively make sure I don't do that now because I'm like, well, this is just us.
Yeah.
And I would like that to stay that way because I want to make sure like we both want to make sure we're prioritizing our relationship, because if we're not doing that, then our content sucks.
Right.
It's super performative, and we don't do that.
And this whole journey started because we were living with family in really close quarters, and we were not being intimate.
And we were not being intimate.
The whole idea of this was to prioritize our intimacy.
Yeah.
And so, at the start, it was bringing the camera into it. And as we evolved, it's like taking the camera back out
of it. Oh, that's really good. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was just going to say, it can be so hard because like everything can be an opportunity for content.
Right,
Yeah.
Like not even sex, of course, but like
just life.
trips or life. Like, you know, it's such a interwoven thing that we do.
Yeah.
You know, sharing our lives, and the, you know, the marketing side of it is obviously not porn. So that even bleeds it outside of the bedroom. But yeah, like, you know, I can definitely think of times where, you know, we've had sex and I'm like, man, I wish we would have filmed that. And I'm like, no.
Bad.
No. Yeah. And at the same time, you know, I'm sure you've experienced this where you've tried to film it and it doesn't work out, and you like get disappointed and you get upset. You're like, but I had sex. Like, shut up, stop it. Yeah. So it's
100%.
Yeah, it's just such a interesting thing to have to like constantly navigate and just understand that like, no, not everything has to be captured.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
there needs to be things for us.
Yeah.
And like to this day, like we've had awesome sex on camera, but the best sex we've ever had is always off camera.
Always off
Always.
camera.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's your
yeah.
sex.
Yeah, I'm like, because we're not thinking, oh, the camera's not in the right position, the lighting is changing, blah, 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 blah. We're just with each other.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, like when it comes to like just the setup process, like, you know, when you have sex, you're like, all right, we're going to have sex. But when you're going to film it, especially with, you know, the production that we've created around it, you're like, okay, I'm going to spend an hour setting up cameras and lights and all of that. And you're like, okay, now I need an hour just to get out of that headspace of just like,
Now get a boner.
yeah. Not just like, okay.
Be immediately wet.
Yeah. So yeah, it is really interesting. Just like, you know, you talked about headspaces with pegging. It's almost the same thing. It's like you got to reset and pull back from that work mode so that you can get back into that intimate mode and really make sure that it's the best experience you can capture.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a struggle.
Sometimes it's really hard. Like we've actually been working on that with like in couples therapy, just like learning how to drop back into connecting before we start filming. And so, and like how we can communicate better before we start filming so that we don't disconnect and stuff. So
Wait, are you telling me that watching me fiddle with a camera for 30 minutes doesn't turn you on?
We are so aroused.
I am
That's what I figured.
always one step away from murder.
And now have sex.
And have sex. It's going to be rage filled, but we could do it.
I don't hate that idea.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
Let's do that. Make her
Circle
ragey.
back to this.
So one thing that you talk about is removing like shame and stigmas. Are there anything that you guys have fell into or have seen with shame or stigma around any of the content that you have made?
You should like touch on that, I feel.
No.
No.
I feel like because we've had such a long journey together, I feel like before we started filming, we kind of destroyed a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's a safe space to film it, to put it out to the world and be like, hey, like this is possible.
Yeah.
Like if you have the right partner and if you do the work, then anything can happen.
Yeah. I think also it's like good to keep in mind though that like even when you have like the right partner and the right environment and stuff, there's still old stuff that sits inside of you that will pop up and affect your current relationship, even if it has nothing to do with it. And, you know, a lot of those things come from past experiences or from society or just like what you see out in the world. And I think that our society has so much shame in general around sex and just, you know, these are things are taboo. You shouldn't be talking about them. And just learning how to speak about it without that is such a struggle. And I know we get like questions from people all the time, like, how do I talk to my partner about this? How do I talk to my partner about that? And it's so hard for so many of us because we were always taught not to talk about any of these things. And so like learning how to bring it up with the person who you're supposed to be closest with is so daunting for so many of us just because we're told not to talk about it. And so like whenever we get those questions, I'm just like, it's like ripping a Band-Aid off. You just kind of have to start, you know? So I feel like, I don't know, I like that our content really focuses on our communication and our authenticity, like us trying to be really genuine with sharing our actual sex life. Because I think when people look at porn and stuff like that, a lot of them, so much of it is performative. And so they think that's what it has to be like. They don't think they have to check in with their partner about like how they're doing or if this is working or, you know, it's just super sexual and intense. It's not goofy and laughy and stuff.
Or even they'll see our scenes, like your scenes or our scenes, and like, oh, how do I get that?
How do I get that?
It's like, well, there's years.
Yeah, where
There's
are you guys
years.
at right now? It's just how you
work.
communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Like start square one.
Yeah. I'm like, again, have been together for 11 years. We were not here at year 1, 2, or 3.
Or 4.
Or 4 or 5 or 6. You know, like it takes time and that's okay.
Yeah, I was a little I wouldn't even say I was surprised. I had no idea before stepping into the world of content creation, like how scary the internet actually is. And just like how you become kind of this like brunt of so much shameful projection, especially until we started to post like funny Instagram reels about pegging, or just when I would talk about like male pleasure in general, there's so much shame around men's pleasure, of expressing pleasure, making noise, talking, asking for their needs, prostate play, like all of it was so shameful that I didn't realize how important this work is until we started to do it. And I also commend you guys for being on that battlefront, because those comments can get really rough sometimes.
They're intense.
It used to bother me, and now
it doesn't bother
it just
me.
feeds me. Like, it's so hilarious now. Like, it's ridiculous.
And it's really telling of just like the person that's making the comment. And it's, you know, there's only so many variations after a certain point. You're like, yes, I like pegging, so I want to be with a man and
super
leave my
gay.
wife. Or we do group play because we don't actually love each other.
Right,
like, you know, there's just only so many variations of that you can hear before you're like, I've already heard that. And it doesn't bother me. So it is very telling.
Yeah. And we get, I'm sure you guys do as well, we have incredible fans.
Oh my God, the best.
That come in and they're just like, thank you guys for talking about this. Or I've never told anybody this before. Like, can I ask you a question? Of creating the safe space. And we do that through like approachability and funny humor and being able to just kind of break down that wall. And I think you guys do that really well as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I think all 4 of us do that really well. It's really awesome. And I love getting those messages from fans who are just like, oh, I really want to, you know, explore this. Like, do you have any advice? How is this for you? And then like getting the messages being like, oh my God, okay, I brought it up to my partner and they're into it. And like, or I'm starting to explore my bisexuality, or I'm starting to explore, you know, rimming, pegging, whatever it is.
You just turn into like a cheerleader.
Oh my God, I get so excited. I'm like,
Get it.
fucking get it.
Because that's missing in so many people's lives, is this safe space and then this validation and this praise of like, no, I'm gonna champion this with you. This was huge.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm so proud of you.
You're such a slut.
Yeah. It's not the best.
It's the best.
Yeah.
So what do you guys like to do outside of creating content? If you're not in the world online, what is TabbyNoName doing offline?
I'm probably reading.
You're definitely reading.
I'm so boring. You guys.
You are not boring.
I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. I am.
You're perfect.
Like, if I could not talk to anybody and just be in a room all by myself, I would be so happy.
I love that fantasy for you.
I'm like, I'm in a room. There's nobody there. I got a book. I got many books. Sun's coming in.
I mean, you have like a master's in creative writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big deal. You're really
I also like
smart.
writing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Writing's really fun.
You're very creative.
I like being creative. Yeah. If I can write, I can paint. I can, I don't know, build something.
You're making your own cosplay outfits.
I know, it's starting to come along.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it. So, yeah, I want to create.
Want to create?
Yeah.
We like creating.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you? What do you like to do?
I'm a nature slut.
Such a
So,
slut.
yeah,
Dear
I
Lord.
like being outside,
Yeah.
hiking, backpacking.
I've gotten more
Yeah.
into it.
You have.
Yeah.
It's actually quite impressive.
Took a while.
It's a hard thing to do.
3
Yeah.
nights outside with me.
Yeah, I think 3 is
Yeah.
like the longest
I will
I've
take that.
done. Yeah. I don't like the sound of nature sometimes. I'm going to be real with you guys.
Like the animals or the thunder?
Like all of
or-
it.
Yeah, just all of it. I'm
The
overstimulated.
waves on the beach. Yeah.
I fucking hate the waves.
I'm like, isn't
Or
this,
the
like,
sound
just
of
so
the river.
perfect?
I had no idea.
It's
That's like what we search for.
Like, this is heaven right now. Like, I feel at
It's
peace.
so goddamn loud, you guys. I just want to be like, shut up.
And I love that like
Like,
balance and
just-
duality for both of you.
Turn
Like,
it down a little bit.
And the fact that you still come out with me is pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I do really. I make it sound like I hate it. I really love it. It's just, usually.
It's not your choice. I guess, what would you say? It's not.
No, I really love it. I think you helped me gain an appreciation for nature. It's just because I didn't grow up like in that environment, going outside and camping. Like, never did that as a kid.
Yeah.
So you really helped me, appreciate that, and have shown me some really beautiful places where it's like, oh shit, I get it.
this is like the
Pretty
stuff people
fucking
write
good.
about.
Yeah. But at night when I'm trying to go to sleep and fucking ocean, shut the fuck up.
I know.
That's when I start to lose my mind. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I know people like get sound machines to specifically listen to this, but I am not a fan.
I know. Crackling fire, like a campfire barf.
I'm also like just convinced that there's probably somebody in the woods like waiting to murder me.
I mean, yeah.
So
the
they
paranoia
probably
is
are.
there.
the
That's-
paranoia
that's
is
the creative
strong.
brain.
I'm just like, and then this will happen, and then this will happen.
I've read this. I've read about this.
Oh, I have, man. When I was in grad school and I was reading people's short stories, do you know how many people wrote horror in my program? Dear Lord. Fucking scarred me for life. Anywho.
All right. One question we ask everybody that's on here is, what is your favorite kind of aftercare?
Well, that's a good question.
Lots of snuggles
Snuggles.
and food.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
I'm so hungry.
Like sweet, savory, all of it.
Probably both.
Okay.
I think I usually go towards
Start savory.
start savory and sweet. But I think it's lots of cuddles
Yeah.
for us.
Just holding.
Just holding.
Yeah. Forehead kisses. Nose kisses.
Lots of goofiness.
Yeah.
Like we
Weird noises.
are so
Yeah, like-
weird.
That's a
You
good
like
one.
just sloth out on me where you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
like
Good
that.
toothless gnaw.
Good toothless gnaw, yeah. Something
You
weird.
guys are the grossest, cutest things I've ever seen.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Oh, it's perfect. Cool.
Yeah.
We love that. Well, thank you guys for being here with us.
Thank you for having
You
us.
can find Tabby NoName on Instagram, on all of the adult sites. Is there anywhere else that everyone can find you?
I mean, literally anywhere.
Literally everywhere.
Except nature.
I mean, you'll find us there too, but I'll be complaining the whole time.
Yes, you will.
Just your little brat just walking up the
Guys, I'm
mountain.
such a fucking brat.
Such a brat.
I'll be carrying your backpack for you.
That's happened.
We love
We
it.
love it. Well, thank you for tuning in with us and sharing this last hour with us. You know where to find us, sunnyandsky.com. And I hope you always stay curious and kinky.
See you later.
Thank you.